Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurion's review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. This is Paul Koenig, the Bulge, 6th Panzer Army from Victory Point Games. The Bulge is the base rule set, and 6th Panzer Army is the exclusive rules. After storming the beaches in his D-Day series and fresh from air landing in his Market Garden series, designer Paul Koenig invites you to collect another World War II European tour travel sticker, this time from the first 3.5 days of the German 1944 winter offensive known as the Battle of the Bulge. In this first game of a new series, 6th Panzer Army takes you to the northern sector of this famous salient where Allied forces grimly confronted a winter onslaught by Hitler's vaunted panzers in the rugged Ardennes forest. As a player, you must command your German or Allied forces so as to capture the objectives on the board while keeping your casualties down and your opponent's casualties high. Complexity level, it says, is a 4, it says solitaire suitability is a 7. And it takes about 60 minutes to play for 2 players. So it sounds like a quick, fun game. Alright, Victory Point Games, they usually come with these sleeves on the boxes. However, Victory Point Games has better counters than anyone. Or they did, I don't even know if they still exist. These are laser cut counters, good material. The only thing is, sometimes they have a little bit of soot on them when you get them, so I'll show you later in the bottom of the box. They include a napkin to wipe the soot off of. Standard NATO military symbols on the counters, too. Look pretty good, and these are informational ones here. Includes a little die, too. And here's the random events table. Kind of like a little player aid here. We'll go to the rule book in a second. Here's another player aid. It's got the sequence of play, which is mutual support phase. Beginning on turn 3, both sides receive 2 air support points per day turn. German operations phase, the German player receives any reinforcements and declares turn type, either maneuver and engage or fire and movement. And then an Allied operations phase where they do the same thing, followed by a mutual housekeeping phase. Here's your terrain effects chart. Here's your combat results. And here's some special rules for the 150th Panzer Grenadier Brigade. Here's some Allied interdiction stuff. Bridge demolition and fuel depot destruction table, that is. Here's your battle sequence. Targeting determined attack strength, defensive support, terrain effects, and then combat resolution. Alright, and these games include 2 identical maps. One is mounted and the other one is one that if you're just going to put it under some plexiglass. So here's the one for plexiglass. This is just a kind of a cardstock material. Actually, it looks pretty decent for a microgames map. Here's the one you got to put together. This is how the mounted map looks after you put it together. Mounted map, pretty decent material. And let's see what else is in the box. An advertisement. Alright, here's a little advertisement you get. Last King of Scotland, that's good. Hell's Gate, that's good, but it doesn't have much replayability because it's got kind of a Simon Says aspect to it for a bunch of the turns. Elmo, remember, that's garbage. Zulus on the Ramparts, that's one of the best solitaire games ever made. And here's a little napkin they give you in case you have some soot on the counters. Let's take a peek through the rule book now. So here's the base rules here. Just going over inventory here. Units, you got a combat factor and a movement allowance. Some have a range and hexes printed on them. Here's what your air support counters look like. Sequence of play, we already went over that. Stacking limit, you can have up to 2 friendly units in a hex, no more of one, which can be an artillery type unit. Right here it's going into further detail in the movement. Combat, as said before, it's got targeting, determined attack strength, followed by defensive support, and then apply terrain effects, and then your combat resolution. Here it's going over terrain effects on combat and so forth. Advancing after combat, when you've eliminated the enemy. And here's rules about halting your advance. Looks like the German players is required to garrison city hexes that they enter. That makes sense, actually, because you're not going to take a city and then not leave some troops there to hold it. Here's your artillery rules. Looks like some of them. Here's your barrage attacks. Looks like you can do bridge demolition in this. And here's your random events. Alright, victory conditions, you get those from the exclusive rules. Let's go to those. Here it's got some special rules, some reinforcement rules. Looks like the Kampf Group Piper, once on game turn 2 and again on game turn 3, they can move and attack multiple times during their German movement steps in a breakout maneuver. Here it's got some breakout combat, breakout advance rules, continuous breakout combat. Right here's how to win. 1 with victory points. So Germans get 1 VP for each Allied unit eliminated, 1 for each city hex, excluding Simarath, which is occupied by a German unit, and 1 for each German mechanized unit that's still in play and west of the red line, and 2 for each German mechanized unit that has voluntarily exited anywhere along the map edge or along the north map edge, along the west map edge or along the north map edge. And here's the Allied victory points. 1 for each city, 1 for each German infantry or airborne eliminated, 2 for each German artillery unit eliminated, 3 for each Panzer Grenadier unit eliminated, and 4 for each German Panzer unit eliminated, and 10 whenever the German player fails to garrison a city. Interesting. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope to try this soon. I've had pretty good success with Victory Point game, microgame, so hopefully this one's good too. Have a good evening.